Welcome back. Welcome back. In this video, I'm going to go over the Surface Path module that Robotmaster offers. So let's get right into it. I've got my part in here. I'm not going to go through the device side, which is where you kind of control how your robot acts. I really just want this to be an overview of how the Surface Path module works. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to add an operation. I'm going to select Surface Paths. And it's going to pull up my Surface Path Detail Edit screen. Now from here, you can see over on the left we have a couple different tabs here. A lot of these are stock that come with the cutting module and the welding module. The two unique ones we have are the surface paths and the multi-layer. So if we wanted to have multiple layers with our surface path, we could do that as well. But really I'm just going to focus on the two types of strategies and what you can or the parameters that you can change within those strategies. So let's go ahead and talk about the parallel strategy. Anybody with a machining background probably can see what's coming here. I'm going to do a parallel strategy, and for my reference geometry, instead of using a plane, which would be like an X, Y, or Z plane, I'm going to use a curve. And then I'm going to scroll down here and I'm going to select my target face. So I'm going to do a polishing application over this visor with a certain step over, and we'll kind of get into all that. So I'm going to go to my target face. I'm going to click on the plus icon, and I'm going to start selecting the different surfaces of the part that I want to create this toolpath on. I'll go ahead and click OK. And then I'm going to come down here and I'm going to go to my reference curves. So this is the curve that I want my path to stay parallel to. So I'm going to go ahead and click the plus icon. I'm going to select this face, or this edge right here, to stay parallel to. I'll go ahead and click OK. And then from here, I can essentially apply it and kind of see what happens. So if I apply this, you can see from the faces that I selected, it's going to create parallel paths with a set step over. The step over is the distance in between these paths that I can then come in and adjust. If I wanted to have a start point, I could also click on a reference start point. This start point looks fine. It's indicated by this green circle. And some of the big things that I want to show are the step over. So if we keep scrolling down in this detail edit, if I wanted my step over to be 25 millimeters, I could hit apply. You can see it's going to change the step over in between my tool paths here. A couple of other settings in this area you can mess with is this method, unidirectional. You've got zigzag or spiral. I'll do zigzag, and that'll essentially mean we'll start here, we'll go down this path, and for this next path we'll just come back the other way. So I'll go ahead and hit zigzag, and now you can see I've got my paths here, I've got my transitions here in orange, and then I can start refining this further. Down here I've got extensions, so I've got a start and end tangent extension, and what this is going to do is it's going to allow me to run off my part, so it's going to extend these tool paths here in order to, if you're grit blasting or painting and you don't want to make that pivot on your part, you can kind of go past off your part, do the transition, and then come back in. So if I come in here and I say 25 millimeters on each, then we're going to see each of these paths extend down past that surface, like so. The other one in this area is going to be number of start and end passes. So if you don't want to start or end your path on the part, we can go ahead and add in more start and end passes here. So you can see it's going to add 2 up here. It's going to add 2 down here as well. I'm just going to zero these back out. The next section that I like to point out is this junction section, and this is going to be our gap control. So essentially, we'll set a gap. This one's set to 5 millimeters. If our transition between tool paths is above this gap, it's going to act a certain way, and if it's below this gap, it's going to act a certain way. So right now, I just have it as disjoined. So you can see that it's going to complete this toolpath, it's going to retract, it's going to move over, and it's going to approach and do the next position. If I wanted to just keep my tool down, I could come in here and I could put both of these to line, and if I hit apply, now you see it's just creating a direct path in between from one path to the other. And usually, we've done some painting applications in the past. Usually you don't want to make these transitions off your part. So you would come in here, you would add some extensions, and let's say this is some kind of glazing or painting application. We can go ahead and hit apply, and we can push those transitions without turning our gun off past the part, and then that way we've got good smooth motion as we go across this visor here. For that's the surface paths for parallel. I'll show you the other strategy that they also incorporate, and that is going to be what's called a morph path. And a morph path is essentially, instead of using one curve to stay parallel to, it's going to use two curves opposite one another, and it's going to kind of morph that path from this first curve to this second curve. And this will probably make more sense as I go. If it's a different, okay, yeah. So reference curve 1, there's a separate one for reference curve 2. So I'll come in here, and I'll create that as my reference curve 2, and now I'll create my path. And so you can see this first path follows this curve exactly, and as we continue this tool path, it's morphing into what our second curve is. So this is the morph path strategy in the Surface Path module. Now if I wanted to come in here and enable multi-layer, I could turn on this toggle switch. Let's say I wanted 3 layers at 10 millimeters apart. I can hit apply, and now it has created, really the best way to see it is like this. You can see we've got our base path, maybe it's like this, and then we have our second path and our third path. So we can easily create multiple passes on top of here to create that toolpath. So this is the Surface module. If you guys have any questions on it, feel free to reach out to us, sales@sophosrobotics.com. Again, my name's John Huster. I'll be going through and doing most of these tutorials. Hope this helped, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.